Kick back, unwind, and enjoy a rare find. Today, we have 36 VHS tapes that I found at Goodwill outlets, at regular Goodwill, at the flea market, several hauls, 36 tapes, all in one video. Let's get started. First stop on the tour of the hauls is the Goodwill outlet bins, and I found The Village of the Damned. And I had seen the remake maybe like 3 weeks ago, and I was like, man, I was reading about this one, and I was like, I want to see that, but it's not really streaming anywhere unless you pay like $4 or $5. But then I go in the Goodwill outlet bins, and the stars aligned, and the original one was right there. And it's the really cool MGM big box. Look at that thing. It was amazing, and I watched the movie and I liked it more than the remake. Really good. If you haven't seen this one, check it out. Let's see some other tapes from the outlet bins on that trip. Life Force, 1989, 90, something like that. This is a really fun movie. If you've not seen this one, I highly recommend it. I wasn't sure if I would like it, but man, this movie was right up my alley. Return of the Jedi, CBS Fox version, and anytime I see the CBS Fox versions of the OT, I pick them up. I have a bunch of them up here. Well, I have some of them. I'll take a picture, put it over top of this audio that you're listening to right now. And remember this, because we're going to talk about it again here in a couple minutes. Next up, Cutting Class with a young Brad Pitt up here. And I can't watch this one because the tape's a little bit moldy, so I still have not built my VCR cleaning machine yet. But when I do, I'm going to clean it up and I'm going to check it out. It looks pretty cool. If you've seen this channel before, you know I'm a big fan of all the rentals, the gaming rentals and the videotape rentals. This rental is amazing, and look at this thing. If you didn't know about the VHS tape history, they were super expensive in the early to even the late 80s. This one was $90 if you wanted to spend that much on this one. It's for sale now for $15. And have you seen this movie? I have actually seen this movie before, and I couldn't even make it halfway in. I did not like this movie. But this rental tape with the price stickers, amazing. Then we have a kind of blank one. I got some notes up here because I've already watched it. It is In Search of Miracles. Religious program taped off the TV, but it's from 1989, and it's got the Channel 10 News from Philadelphia. Really good quality, 1989, but it's only like 15 minutes long, unfortunately. Wish it was longer, but that's what it is. Next up, a haul from the regular Goodwill. The Super Mario Brothers Super Show. Yeah, remember this? This is for Mario's Magic Carpet, and I have not seen this since the 80s, and I barely really remembered it. The live action show is really bad, but the cartoon's pretty cool, so I guess it's half cool and half really bad. But this is a pretty cool video game related thing to display over in my video game corner. Bamboo Saucer. It's a tape, or it's a movie from 1967, and this is an old Blockbuster video rental. It says color 1967, but the back sure does have black and white pictures on it. Look at that. Do you see the color? I don't see the color. Teenage Ninja Karate Lessons. Yeah. It's from 1986, but it was re-released here, I guess, 1990, right around the Ninja Turtles movie time, and it's really funny. Every time they go to a new exercise or explain something, there's a sound on the screen that's like, whoa! It's fantastic. A movie gallery rental tape. This thing is amazing. This is the first one I found. It looks like this. Let me find the other one that I have found. This is the only one I've found out in the wild before ever. VHS rental for movie gallery. So to have this one is amazing. Rodan? It's a monster movie, of course. Is it one of the Godzilla creatures? I think so. I've never seen it, but I'm looking forward to watching it. The Protector, 1985, Jackie Chan movie. I haven't seen much of the 80s Chan movies, but I know that they're all supposed to be really amazing. And I've not seen this one. This cover And whole slip sleeve is amazing. Looking forward to this one for sure. There's like a million rental stickers on this one. Look at that. You can rent it for 6 nights and 50 cents fee if you do not rewind this baby. But I can't tell where it was from. And the last one from that little trip, Planet of the Dinosaurs with award-winning special effects. This says 1987, but it looks older than that. Guess we'll see. A wrestling tape, pretty rare that I find these out there. This is ECW Extreme Evolution. It's got 4 matches. It's one of those the best of tapes, and I watched it and I have actually seen all these because we were big ECW marks back in the 1998s. 97, 98, and 99. We were all into ECW, all my friends and I, and good times. Forgot to mention that the movie inside the movie gallery, it's supposed to be Major Pain, but it is not. It's a moldy version of The Land Before Time 2. Just coming back from the flea market now, so here's some flea market home videos. Let's check them out. First up, Christmas 1996. What kind of presents were we getting? Paul's Wedding. Paul's Wedding from 1997. Jim's 1986 Class Reunion. New Archives Class of 61 25th Anniversary 1986. 25th Wedding Anniversary of Jim and Delaney. I do enjoy the wedding videos and the class reunion type of things, but I'm getting kind of bored with them now, I will say. So, might cut down on the hauls and not buy those tapes if I see them out there from now on. Take a little break. And last up from that little haul is... This is for you, Adam. If you ever watch this video, it's the card captors. This is pretty cool. Hopefully it has some commercials on it. Okay, back to the Goodwill outlets. First up we have a Night Breed, and I watched this a couple nights ago, and it was pretty cool. Really creative. It was, I'll say it was okay. There were some parts that I really did not like about this movie, but yeah, it was okay overall. Blood In, Blood Out. Never heard of this one, but I heard that I heard it's some kind of important movie, and I'm not really sure what is important about it, but I will watch it here in probably a couple days. American Ninja 2. These are always fun if you've never seen any of these American Ninja movies. I've seen this one, excuse me, I've seen this one a couple times, and each time is probably better than the last viewing. Carnosaur 3. Wait a minute. Primal Species. And I can't really watch this one because it has some mold on it. I'll clean it up eventually one day and check it out. This one also has some mold on it, so I can't watch it, but this cover is amazing. Man on Fire, and I couldn't pass it up. It's from the 80s. 1987, and this is from 1989 release. And then we have a blank tape. Usually these are my favorite. I'm starting to get the hang of spotting which tapes are older, and ones that are probably from the 80s, like the ones that are really slippery on the side and have some grooves, and they sometimes have writing like this on the top. Those are pretty old usually, so, and they're kind of heavier, and I don't know if the slip sleeve is for this. So that's exciting. We'll see what's on here. Okay, we have 11 left. Back to the normal Goodwill. Adventures in Babysitting. I always hear about this movie or hear it referenced, but I've never ever seen it. I don't think so unless I watch it and have some flashbacks from the 80s when I was a kid. So looking forward to checking it out. Night of the Living Dead. Tales of Horror version. I don't know if this was part of a box set or something. Looks like maybe it was. If you know, let me know. It's got a little bit of mold on it. I like this movie, but I haven't seen it for a really long time now. David the Gnome. Young Dr. Gnome. This is a rental, if you can tell. The front is really faded. Well, it's pretty much not super faded, but it's faded enough. But I used to watch this as a kid in the 80s. And a lot of people have never heard of David the Gnome, if you ask them, but we know. And the last one from this Goodwill trip, The $1 Million Duck. Why did I buy this movie? Well, this was an important childhood movie of mine right here. I had taped Return of the Jedi off the TV, and during the credits at the end, I taped this movie, and it was right after my tape of Return of the Jedi, and I know exactly which music cue this started playing from my tape from when I was a kid, because I had watched Return of the Jedi 2 zillion times. And I started watching this movie a few nights ago, and I remember everything that happened so far in it. But I can only get like 10 minutes in. It's a struggle. But I have to finish it for the nostalgia. I don't know what else was on my childhood tape besides these two. I knew there were some more, but this came after this. Here are the final tapes from the video. We're going back to the Goodwill outlet bins. These are all taped off the TV from the 80s, well, except for this one. Well, and this one. But I'm going to show you some signs as to how you can tell they're from the 80s before you even watch them. That was a secret test to see if I get copyrighted for that sound clip. So if you just heard a big blank sound clip, that's because I had to mute that part of the video. You see all my notes here? This heavy, shiny tape with some bunch of groove patterns on it. This is from 1985. It's the Philly News station, talking about the highway, getting repaved and all this stuff, and then it has Treasure of the Sierra Madre on it. There's Kitty City commercials from the early 80s with He-Man, Castle of Grayskull, and it's got a G.I. Joe thing in it. It's got Pizza Hut, Care Bears. It's really good, and it's kind of grainy and wavy at times, but then the quality's really good, and then it's over. So, and it advertises Neverending Story coming into theaters. So some of it's actually older than 1985 a little bit. Yeah, this is an amazing find, and it is a keeper. Next up, Mogul Mastery. Have not watched this one yet, but I collect the Extreme Sports tapes. This is from 1994. Looks older than that, but that's what it's from. Then we have this blank tape. Well, off the TV. This has The Karate Kid and Moonstruck, both taped off the TV from the 80s, but there's no commercials. See how it's super shiny on the outsides, and it's got a crazy groove pattern, and then even at the top it's got some font like etched into it. This is 80s all the way, and it's heavy. But no commercials, so that's pretty disappointing, but that's what happened. I mean, would you want commercials on your tape that you taped off the TV back when the 80s were going crazy, and you didn't want to pay $89.99 for a tape? I wouldn't want commercials on mine either. Next up, another tape from the 80s. Heavy, it's got cool grooves on it, shiny sides, if you can see that. Beverly Hills Cop, Johnny Dangerously, European Vacation, and Summer Rental. I've only watched Beverly Hills Cop so far, and it does not have the commercials, but I haven't watched the rest of the movies yet. Another one, Verified from the 80s. If you can see that font. The Cotton Club, Ghostbusters, and Gremlins. And I know it's from the 80s because it has really cool openings on the beginning of it from when it was taped off the TV. This one, if you can see my note, it's a little newer. It's from 1992. It's soap operas, but they have all the commercials on them, so it's pretty cool to at least watch them for the commercials. Or if you're into 1992 soap operas, this is your tape. Guess what? We're finally at the last video, or the last tape of this long video, and it's blank, but I watched it, and it's not from the TV at all. Let me read you my notes. It's a presentation from 1993. They're auditing soft drinks in different stores. And then there's a presentation on a slide or overhead projector as to how supermarket window signs are made. Well, that's it. And remember, like Indiana Holmes always says, keep up the grind and you get a rare find.